Welcome back to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. We're going to go on another search today looking for some beautiful places. That is snow coming down out there. I got a t-shirt on and hey, here we go. Weather can change in the mountains in a minute. When I arrived at the east side of the mountain, the weather broke, the sun poked through for a few minutes, and I was enjoying 9,500 feet of elevation in this National Forest campground. There were a few other brave souls up here, but they were on an elk hunt that they had won with the New Mexico state lottery system. This little moment of sunshiny paradise is in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains and the Carson National Forest. It's a beautiful little spot right now. Gaia shows a little bit better relief than Google Maps does. It shows the Shuri fishing ponds, but there is a hiking trail over there, but none of the maps show that trail. I tried to pick a spot where I could set my tent up beside my Jeep to protect it from the wind, and that was a good decision. I did not show setting up my tent because it changed right back to wind, snow, and ice. Well, let me show you around inside. Zero-degree sleeping bag right here. Nice pillow. Rock pals to run my 12-volt electric blanket if I need it. Clothes, camera, a chair with a blanket. And I took everything that was like a bag, stuffed it underneath the cot so that it would provide a slowdown of airflow from the cold air at night. I have no idea how cold it's going to get tonight up here. The forecast was like 20 degrees on, I'm going to say, maybe Monday night. And I'm going to be long gone at that point, I'm hoping, if that whine on the fuel pump is not trouble. Maybe it's just whining from coming up here at elevation. I'm going to get some firewood here in the National Forest. There's some good deadfall around here. I'm going to use my little Harbor Freight chainsaw. I forgot to bring bar oil, and I have been dribbling in when I find the Jeep a little low on oil. I've been just dribbling in some Slick 50, if you've ever heard of it. My dad used to sell that when we were kids, and he would run that at a flea market, and he'd drain the oil out and there'd be a plexiglass window showing there was no oil. So then he would run the engine and everybody would freak out and people would be yelling, and my dad would just grin, and engine would still run. So hopefully I don't ruin my chainsaw by putting Slick 50 in it, but it's slick and it ought to lubricate that bar. I have my camp set up, have my wood cut, have my Walmart Ozark Trail tent set up. I didn't show setting it up because it's a very simple tent, and two, it was snowing and a little bit of raining while I set it up, and the wind was blowing, so I didn't want to look like an idiot while the camera was running. But you can see where I have the Jeep. I put the Jeep as a wind block because that's the direction the storm was coming from at the time, and still seems to be the direction the wind is blowing. So that might keep my tent and stakes in the ground, right? It's very difficult to predict weather in the mountains, because if you have some humid air that gets pushed to the base of the mountain and then it gets elevated coming up the mountain, it's going to condense and become rain or snow. So very hard to predict. I have a lot of extra layers of clothing if I get myself in trouble, or worst comes to worst, I could sit in the Jeep, right? This is the site we stayed at 3 years ago. If you go onto Google Maps, you'll actually see a little Subaru parked there pulling that camping trailer. The campground is pretty empty, probably anticipating the weather, but it's not supposed to be coming in yet. It's supposed to be in a couple days, and hopefully we'll be long gone before it gets cold, because it'll be really cold up here. There's some people that maybe look like they're going to try to stick it out. Someone's got a hot tent over on the other side here. I'm actually going to head down to the Shuri fishing ponds and just take a little hike out in the woods and across these fields right in the middle of this valley. It's just a pretty beautiful place. The trail descends down to the middle Pownell Creek and then across a big open valley. And I imagine at certain times of the year this is an easy place to view some wildlife. There's no one else out here. I just wanted a quiet walk. I am getting ready for bed, and I have moved inside my tent because it was raining and snowing, so here I am. But I am sitting inside watching the moon and my fire. It was pretty easy to find the evidence of the freezing rain last night. It was on the table, the Jeep, the windshield, the tent. It was everywhere. I think it's time to get a fire going this morning. I'm gonna do that first, get some food in me. See if that fuel pump works. There's some ice on all this wood, so I'm gonna scrape off the underside that was not exposed to the rain and get some bark for a little tinder. When it is cold like this, I do not waste my time trying to light a fire with some kind of fancy manly backwoods method. This is a propane torch and sparker morning. If I were to choose a way to light a fire, it would be cotton balls with Vaseline and a sparker, but not this morning. Is a frosty morning with a lot of ice on the trees and from the rain. And I don't know if I can get up above the clouds with the drone, but I may try that here in a little bit. But it's kind of quiet. I think I'll wait till I hear someone else stir before I light the drone up. It makes a little noise. There's a lot of ice stuck on my rain tarp from last night. It's probably going to take up more space packing it up. We'll just see if we can get everything back in the bag. Really don't know how cold it was last night or how cold it is right now, but my Propel bottle froze sitting on the picnic table, and wow, pretty nippy out there. It's time to get going.
thank you for joining me for the icy part of this adventure. Obviously, the fuel pump worked fine starting up this morning. Come back for some more.